What's good? What's good? What's good? Good morning, Kentrell LeGrew. Good morning, Kodak Cam. Hope you're well. Let me make sure that this thing is. There you go. I think it's live. It's live. It's live. It's live. It's live. I'll wait for y'all to come on in though before I go in too much. Word hit the deck yesterday that Anthony Joshua is most likely going to retire. That came from his uncle. You can take it with a grain of salt if you want to or not. However, if it is the end of Anthony Joshua's career, I think now is the time to answer the question of whether or not Anthony Joshua is the greatest hype job in the history of boxing. And the only person I think that could come close as far as being a pure hype job is Devin Haney. But Anthony Joshua, for me, is the greatest hype job that I've ever seen. I have never seen anybody get treated that like, you said, you got Devin number one. I've got, well, look, it's interesting, man. Let's take a poll as people come on in. We'll actually take down some names of the people that you think are hype jobs. And I'd be very interested in to know who you guys think is the biggest one. Because for me, I don't think there's ever been a bigger one than Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua came in as an Olympic gold medalist, and many people that watched the Olympic final thought that he lost, but he got it. Then he was treated as if he was the next Muhammad Ali. He had how many belts? He had 3 belts, and he's only 16 fights. They went through the whole thing. Only 16 fights. He was the world champion. There's never been anybody better than Ali, better than Mike Tyson. He got all of those accolades, man. And ends his career on just an absolute terrible streak of getting knocked out by Andy Ruiz, getting back in the ring and fighting like Devin Haney to get past Andy Ruiz. So he never had to worry about getting touched upside his head. He then gets knocked out by he gets beat by Alexander Usyk, gets knocked out by Daniel Dubois. I just don't think, man. Who you think is more manufactured, Devin or AJ? I think that AJ was more manufactured. AJ is more manufactured than Devin Haney is. More manufactured. Because Devin can actually fight. Like, I don't think Devin is I think Devin is a better fighter than Anthony Joshua is. With AJ, it's all about his looks. It was all about his looks and him being charismatic and all of that, man. Salute Fanan. Paulie Malignaggi is an honorable mention. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah, he said, I got you. UK hype job. I mean, seriously, it's the biggest hype job that I've ever seen. It's the biggest hype job I've ever seen. There's other guys that were big hype jobs, like Acelino Freitas, I thought was a pretty big hype job. Man, for me, man, I think Macho Camacho to me is a hype job. So is Prince Nassim Ahmed. I think Macho Camacho is super, super overrated. Super overrated. What's up, Marcus? Marcus T. Villain. How you feeling, brother? Good to see you. I hope you guys enjoyed the show yesterday on MH Blackwell. Hope you guys, this time on MH Blackwell today, this afternoon, please tune in because we're going to talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a gangster. Donald Trump is just a flat out gangster. I feel bad for Devin after that drug addict called Garcia beat him. Yeah, I mean, you're getting your ass whooped by somebody that gets high. He did get his ass whooped. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely tune in, man. Well, Ben Whitaker is not there yet. Ben Whitaker has not been fully hyped. I mean, there's other little hype jobs that are coming up. Ben Whitaker is not, he's not really got up there yet. Definitely not up there with the level of the AJ, right? I would say one guy that they're trying to push that way is Moses Atumwa. But I mean, I can't say that Moses Atumwa was a hype job because I just haven't seen enough of Moses Atumwa. He said, oh, yeah, I'll be there for that later for that conversation. Yeah, I'm going to try to go on at 2 o'clock. I think 2 o'clock is a safe time for that. I know that I can get on by 2 o'clock. But yeah, man, that dude snatched Nicolas Maduro and then snatched $21 billion or $2.8 billion. $2.8 billion worth of oil, which can be sold for probably like 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. I'm going to try to go for 2 o'clock because I think 2 o'clock is a reasonable time in the afternoon. But yeah, we're going to be there because I'm doing my MH Blackwell live streams every day because I got to figure out what I can talk about there on that in a video format. I might do the Donald Trump's thug video before that, though. My God, that man's a thug. My God, that man. I got to take my hats off to him, though. I can't lie, dog. I like the move. The move is very, very much like me. I would do some shit like that. If I was in his position, I would do something like that. I would be like, fuck all the noise, grab him. Grab him. We're going to stick him in jail. And if you want us not to snatch the next one, come up off that oil. We are going to be getting, Donald Trump and his friends are going to be getting 250, 250 million gallons or some shit like that. 2 days worth of U.S. oil. People are saying it's not worth it. That's only 2 days worth of U.S. oil. Nah, that's $2 billion. People will definitely jack you up over $2 billion. You know what I mean? On the money line, say, good morning, OG Fanon. How are you doing? Salute, chat. Honestly, man, I have to say, I would say that was brilliant. I still don't like his ass. Nah, I don't really like Donald Trump either, man. I'm just saying, Barbara, hey, man, you got to give him credit, man. The dude's a ruffian. You know what I mean? The guy's a ruffian. He ain't shy. That's for dang sure. He ain't shy. You know, but man, but it's that anyway. Yeah, we're going to talk about that later on today, man. We should have fun with that one. Yeah, but didn't he break United Nations rule? Fuck the United Nations. Fuck the UN. Fuck NATO. Fuck UN. Whatever. They break shit all the time. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Like, seriously, man, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Black people get screwed any way it goes. And I'm believing what Neely Fuller Jr. said, man. That's a battle between That's a battle between white people. That ain't for me to pay attention to. All I'm saying is, hey, man, I respect the gangster, bro. I respect the gangster. The man said, look, you pumping drugs into our country. I'm about to snatch your boy, and I'm about to grab about $3 billion worth of oil for our trouble. Don't make us have to do the shit again. You know what I mean? And then let them be as socialist as they want to be. You know what I mean? As long as we understand, because as far as like, national foreign policy goes, I do believe that it is very important to secure our homeland. I really do. You know, they have like homeland security. I really do believe it's important for us to guard and safeguard our homeland. And if people are playing games, which I see taking place in boxing all the time, but they're playing it in areas that are as dangerous as drug trafficking, nah, you got to get those dudes out of here, man. And you ain't got to wait around. I'm glad he don't wait around for Congress for an act of Congress and approval of 50,000 congressmen in order to do something. So, you know, he's the executive branch. He's pushing the limits of the executive branch. He said, exactly. Blacks get screwed all the time. It's our time to sit back with our popcorn and watch. Yep. Hey, man. Yeah, they're not going to get me going super liberal. You're not going to get me going super conservative. I'm sitting right here as a black person in America, knowing full well y'all are all shiesty. And I'm going to watch you continue to shiest up. C-ball, which means cornball. Dude, you a lawyer? By training, I'm retired. Why do you ask? You know what I always find interesting? Dude, if you're not a lawyer, why would you ask me if I'm one? It's not like you could understand what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Why don't you just sit down and enjoy the show, bro? And try not to be obnoxious, all right? I know that's different, bro, but yes, I'm a lawyer, but what does that have to do with foreign policy? What does that have to do? And I would love for you to explain this to me. What does that have to do with my opinion on foreign policy? I believe in the U.S. homeland because that's where I live. I live in the U.S. I live in our homeland. This is where I live. So yes, it's very important that the government protect the United States. That's their whole job, is to protect us against enemies, foreign and domestic. That's their job. So if they see, yeah, it is okay to break international law. It is. Fuck them. You can't break. So what? They break international law all the time. Israel breaks international law all the time. That's not my problem. It's not my problem. Fuck you and international law. Fuck international law. They've never done anything for me. No, seriously, bro. They've never done anything for me. What do I care about that for? Only thing I care about is the United States of America and us. That's what I care about. And any type of problem solving, issues with our money, all that should be spent in the United States, trying to make the United States a better place to live, a safe and better place to live. It is not my problem what's going on other places, because it's never their problem about what's going on here. Really. So, it is what it is. So Donald Trump going to do what Donald Trump does. As long as Donald Trump does not try to run for a third office, I'm fine. It is what it is, man. You know what I mean? I wish he would do some shit with student loans. I wish that they would get rid of student loans. I wish they would do a lot of stuff that they're not doing for Americans. But I'm not crying a river for anybody outside the United States. I'm not. Everybody else got to take care of themselves, and everybody talks shit about us, especially Black Americans. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. I really hate to say that, but it's the truth. I was paying attention to a lot of the conversation going on about Pan-Africanism versus like Pan-Africanists and the more foundational Black Americans. And I have to say, bro, I used to be very sympathetic for Pan-Africanists until it started being used as a way to steal resources and divert resources in the United States. You know what I mean? I was cool with Pan-Africanism until we realized that most of you Pan-Africanists are anti-American. If you're anti-American, that means you're anti-us. You guys have an attitude with America, and we're Americans. So, I mean, dog, it's like we really can't do it with you, man. We can't do it with you because you look down on America. I don't think we're not looking down on your country where you're coming from, but then by and large, we're not trying to move into your country. You guys are trying to move into our country, take our resources, talk bad about us. So look, bro, in international law, deal with yourself, bro. Deal with it yourself, bro. Stop trying to piggyback off us. That's what I'm saying. Kind of like, but back onto the boxing conversation. That's why AJ's a big ass hype job, bro, that never caught on here. It only works one way. Pan-Africanism benefits everybody but Black Americans. I mean, look, it could benefit us greatly. It could benefit us greatly if people had the mentality to work with us in a way where we make money and they make money. That's not a problem. You can make a lot of money if you are Pan-African, as in you have relationships with people in Africa and you believe that we have a real solid relationship with people in Africa. That could be an absolutely beautiful thing for Black America. But the problem is the condescending attitude of a lot of Africans about Black Americans. But that's, that again is something that is an opinion that is curated. It's not just a natural one that comes off the top of your head. You are convinced to look at us in a bad way because of the way they represent us in the music industry and the way that they represent us in the entertainment industry, in movies and television. And the way that now we see a lot of guys that are flat out tethers that are not even American, basically acting like fools to make Black Americans look like fools. So I understand the necessity to be more insular as a Black American. I really understand the need to be secluded, but it doesn't work if it's just a one-way show. That's, I think, what they're saying about Pan-Africanism. it doesn't work if all you're doing is you guys are all coming here and you want the benefit of coming here, but we never go to where you are and get the benefit of where you're from. That's not Pan-Africanism. That is manipulation. That is exploitation. That's what it is. If you guys want to co-sign, like I'll take one guy for real, Godfrey. To me, I've listened to Godfrey long enough, and I don't think Godfrey's a Black American. I don't care how long he's lived here. His attitudes is something I don't want to listen to. A lot of things happen to siphon money out of our community. Yeah, they do. And boxing is one of the biggest area. Yeah, it's one-sided. That's the problem with Pan-Africanism. It's one, in theory, it was a beautiful thing in the 90s. In theory, it was a beautiful thing when John Henrik Clark and John Jackson and all these guys that were really the intellectual bedrock of Pan-Africanism. They were, but the way that it has been manipulated, no. That's why I don't like any type of movements. Bill Martin said, do you think Devin is more popular than Devin Haney? I think Devin Haney is as possible. I think Devin Haney is exactly as popular as, do I think Devin Haney is more popular than AJ? No, absolutely not. No. He's nowhere near as popular as AJ is. AJ is actually a popular fighter. I'm just saying he's a hype job because the dude couldn't fight. Not that he can't fight. Let me not overstate the case. I'm saying that he's a hype job because he's not he's not what they said he was. But he is a popular fighter in the UK, and there are a lot of people that like AJ. So AJ is definitely much more popular than Devin Haney is. They are, but neither one of them in the United States are very popular. Neither one of them are. So the real question, the real issue with what's happening is that the hype is being directed at certain people. And the boxing powers that be are trying to determine who is going to be the next star. Instead of just letting it happen and whoever happens to be the star, like, oh man, this guy lucked up and he wound up becoming the star. Okay, let's give him his credit for being popular and let's start working with him to get a lot of fights and all of that stuff, to help grow the sport. But when these guys talk about growing the sport, they want to grow the sport in a particular way, one that suits their interest. So that's why you see, I wouldn't say they are hype jobs. Devin is the youngest undisputed champion. That's not true. AJ was a unified 3-belt champion. They're still hype jobs. And Devin Haney is not the youngest undisputed champion. That's not true. He's not. Muhammad Ali was the undisputed heavyweight champion at the age of 21. I think Devin won his in when he was 24. Okay. So I'm glad that you said that because that gets to tell me exactly, that gives another example of him being a hype job. When you say Devin is the youngest undisputed champion, that is absolutely positively not true. Look, in all nations, you have fools and the wise. Truth is, U.S. who overstand the dynamics should consolidate each other towards the concept of Pan-African. Remember, no, I'm not as African as you are. I'm not doing that shit. No. Africa can have the Africans. No, Africa is for the Africans. That belongs to the Africans. That does not belong to us. China belongs to the Chinese. It does not belong to us. Africa does not belong to us. The United States of America belongs to us. Got it? It's that simple. We don't belong to, nor do they belong to us, Africa. The people that live in Africa are the ones that own Africa. The people that live in the United States are the ones that own the United States. That is where we're from. That is where we are. That is where we're going to die. And the fantasy that we're from Africa, physically us, I'm not talking about descended from people that were from there. I mean, For me to call myself African is a lie that I am not in the world and I'm not in the midst to tell. I'm not. You know what I mean? Because the fact of the matter is, the only place out of the United States that I know for sure that my people are from is Greece. That's it. But Greece doesn't belong to me. I'm a Greek American. Nobody's asking me to say Greek American. Nobody's saying, hey, let's have pan Greekism. No, what's in Greece is Greece. Yes, I have people, I'm descended from people in Greece, but that doesn't mean that that's my country. No, my country is the United States. And I don't believe that my country is Nigeria or my country is Ghana or Burkina Faso or any of the other organized states in Africa. No, what we have is a situation where you guys know where what did Joe used to call it? Joey used to call it. Joey used to call it. What did he say? It's the biggest marketplace in the world. You guys see us as a marketplace. You guys see us as a way to to come in to get education, to get jobs, and to send that money back to where you're from. That's not what we're from. That's not what we're trying to do. Every time you get a job and you send your money back, you are literally taking our money and sending away to another country. We're American. We're American. If you're not American, then, hey, bro, we've got some commonality because we're non-white. But no, man, I'm not going to sit up here and say that I'm African. That shit is, no, that's a con job. I'm not African. And when you go to Africa, because I've been to Africa, you will find out very quickly that you're not African. The only people trying to call you African are the people that are trying to manipulate you into giving them some of your money. I mean, that's what that is. Like, brother. Like, no, man. They're mad because Trump can't deport us. They're going to stay mad. Brother, no, I am not ethnically African. I'm not. I am not ethnically African. I am not. I am a Black American. Ethnically, I am a Black American. That's where I'm from. That's my ethnicity. That's my culture. I am from the United States, bro. We are always convinced by people that we should reject what is ours. We don't have to reject the United States as being ours. We just got to work to fix the problems within America. Okay? You can dislike the police. You can dislike the U.S. government, the president, the senators, the congressmen, but that doesn't mean it's not yours. And they're trying to convince us that it's not ours, that it's somebody else's. No, it's ours. We are not from, Africa is theirs. This is ours. And we should treat it like it's ours and believe it's ours. No, man, we're from here. You guys are trying to pull a con job, or you fell for a con job. Bro, we're from right here. Where were you born? Chicago, Kansas. We're Minnesota. I was born in California. That's where you're from. That's where you're from. Where you at is where you from. Come on, man. We've been here how long? No, I'm not doing any. I don't want to do any more of these dog and pony shows that liberal Democrats liberals come up with, or conservatives come up with. I don't want any one of your storylines. The only thing I know for sure is that I was born here. I live here. My whole family lives here for generations and generations and generations and generations and generations. But yet you guys that's not fair, considering I can't generalize on behavior of Black Americans to claim the whole continent of people. Dog, I didn't say the whole continent of people is one way. I'm telling you, we're from here. It's not hard. Let me tell you, man, we are from here. I don't want to tell you what kind of magic wand they are waving in your face to convince you that you're from Africa. Just because you have a great grandmother that came over from Africa, what about the rest of your gene pool? What about everybody else? No, bro, we're here. You guys want to teach us we're not. At the same time, you want to come in here and then take advantage of everything we've done. You want to take advantage of everything we've done as Americans, but then convince us that we're not American at the same time. No, I'm an American. That's why I get to vote. That's why I speak the language like I speak the language. Come on, man. You said we trying to con you, bro. You're trying to somebody is conning you. If you think that I am going to say I'm from Africa, you cannot find a single solitary African tribe that looks like me. Nobody. None of those Western Africans look shit like me. Nothing. Not a thing. We don't speak the same language. We don't have the same culture. I don't look like them. I look like a Black American. I look like the people from right here. No, I'm from here. Stop telling me I'm from somewhere else. So you can take the land. That's why they want to convince. Do you understand that when they basically when they were killing, they're not claiming us? Hey, look, I'm just telling you. I'm not interested in that shit. Dog, I don't want to hear that shit about where I originated 50 billion years ago. I don't care where Lucy was. Lucy being in Africa don't mean shit to me. What means something to me is the United States of America operating the way it should operate, because that's where I live right now. Come on, man. No, we don't need that. You guys are that argument is focusing you everywhere but right here. No, we're from here. We've always been here. Black people were here well before Europeans got here. And we're the same people that have always been here. But you want to convince us we're from another continent. The same way you try to convince us that everybody got here through the Bering Straits. Everybody walked way up to the top of the fucking world. Then they walked across the North Pole and they walked on. That's a lie. People did not get over here from that. Anyway, you're not going to continue to miseducate me, man, because what you're saying doesn't even matter. We're from the United States. That's where we pay our taxes. That's where the police are that arrest us. That's where our loved ones are from. Everything that matters to Black Americans is in America. And you're trying to turn our eyes to look over that way and convince us that we don't belong here, that we're second-class citizens, that the rich white people always are the one that own everything. No, we're here. Dog, nobody asked you to come around here to begin with, bro. Gourmet Clay. All you're doing is playing off Muhammad Ali's name. You're not a serious person. You're a fucking buffoon. Dog, shut up, brother Roots. You're out, bro. I'm not going to tell you shut up. Bro, we do not own Africa, dog. We don't own Africa. The Africans own Africa. I don't give a shit about how big. We don't own Africa. I don't live in Africa. I don't pay taxes in Africa. I've never voted in Africa. I have no family that is directly from me that's in Africa. I know what Pangea is, you fucking idiot. You talking about me? I didn't mean to call you an idiot. I'm sorry. Tell this man about Pangea. Pangea means there was one continent and everybody was on one continent and everything broke. And then they had people go here, there, and everywhere. Bro, I don't want to hear this. You kids keep talking this stupid shit. I talked about that stupid shit when I was a kid. Okay? Let me tell you when all that Pan-African shit. Nah, man, get out of here, bro. Don't tell me to do nothing, bro. You guys need to stop that shit. Bro, I didn't mean to tell you to shut up, bro. But dog, seriously, you're beating a dead horse, bro. You need to watch Roots, my brother. You need to fuck off, bro. Goodbye. How many times I got to watch Roots, nigga? How many times I got to watch Roots? Bro, we are Native Americans, bro. What are you fucking talking about? We are native to this land, bro. Yeah, get out of here, you bums. I know what you are. You some bums. And I'm not even going to cuss you out no more. Get out. You guys are a bunch of Pan-Africanists, meaning You're some people from outside the United States that want to dictate what's going on in the United States. Mind your own business and go back to your own country. How about that? How about all you Jamaicans that want to tell black people what black people are? Bring your hat, take your go. Thank you. If you feel that you are African and that is your primary identity, I don't have a problem with that. Get up, get on a plane, and go back to Africa. Go there. Go there. How about that? How about you just take the jump and become African? No, you don't want to move to Africa. You don't want to do that. You know why you don't want to move to Africa? Because them Africans are starting to kick y'all out. The Africans that are going to Ghana, they're starting to kick them out. You know why? They're kicking black Americans and they don't want them coming there? Because they're inflating the cost of living. They don't even want you there. Like, what do you think is going to happen if you go to Africa and you try to set up a neighborhood in Africa? Bro, you have always, first of all, let me tell you something, bro. I'm always learning. I'm always learning, bro. I know Africans. Africans do not respect black Americans. Most of the Caribbeans, many of the Caribbeans that I have met do not respect black Americans. Most of the British blacks that I have met do not respect black Americans. You don't. What kind of fool would I be? Yes, I've been there. Yes, I've been to Africa. No, we're not all one. You guys can be one. I don't want to be one with you. I want the United States of America to operate and take care of the black Americans that have lived here for centuries. Whatever problems you got in Africa, go back and fix them. Whatever problems you guys have in the Caribbean, go back and fix them. Go back and fix them. What do you want me to tell you? Every time I talk to y'all disrespect black Americans. It's 100% of the time. I'll listen to you because I'm educated. I'm a very well educated person, bro. So you guys, I talk to you and it's a good conversation. But when you see people in poor neighborhoods and black people that are more dysfunctional, then you start thinking you're better than them. And you start preaching about what black people need to do to solve their problems and how you represent yourself this way and that way. Dog, I'm throwing you out of here, bro. Goodbye. Bro, I'm not educated. Okay. I'm educated by my master. Thank you. I am. Yes, I am educated by my master. I'm going to tell you right now, dude, you guys can get the fuck out. Because I didn't even ask you. Nope. I'm kicking you out because I don't care what you think. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And goodbye. And goodbye. You know why? Because you guys are not black Americans. And you're doing exactly what these people accuse you guys of doing. Mind your business, bro. I do not have to believe the shit that you guys say. I don't. I don't have to buy that bullshit. I don't. I'm sorry. I do not. You guys can buy that bullshit if you want to buy that bullshit. I don't want to hear that bullshit. You know why? Because I'm 56 years old and I know I got to pay my bills. And I know the biggest threat to me are police officers around me. I also know that the United States has mistreated my people for a very long time. So, like anybody else that is focused on what they're doing, I say black Americans should be focused on what we're doing to the exclusion of other people because you guys are not helping us. You're not. You guys stand behind all kind of legislation, conservative legislation that was meant to bring black people down. But because many of you, are you from Niger, bro? I'm not even trying to hear you, bro. I'm not fucking African, bro. I'm American. I'm not African. I'm Black American. That's what I am. And you guys can do what you want to do. I don't care about Hebrew. I don't care about none of that. Only thing I care about is this is where I live. I've got a son in school. I've got a daughter in school. I've got parents that are aging. We've got a healthcare system that sucks. We have an economy where inflation is just shooting through the roof. But yet you want me to fixate on Kwanzaa. As if we don't already have enough holidays, you want to add Kwanzaa. You guys don't want to do anything but enable us to make us be enablers for you. That's what we are to you. We are enablers. Our base numbers and our system and our culture is nothing but a stepping stone for you when you come into the United States. You want the good side of it. You don't want the bad side of it. And that's how I see it. Zachariah says, if you think Bill and Devin are standard, then your bar is very low. How is somebody the standard? That we've seen lie about everything. Let me tell you something, bro. Getting back on to boxing. Marcus Garvey was a good dude. There's a lot of great dudes from outside the United States. Frantz Fanon is one of my favorite, is absolutely my favorite not theologian, philosopher. Without a doubt. There are brilliant people in Africa. I support what the African liberations and for them and their rights of self-determination and their ability to own their own resources. That's what they should be trying to do. I believe in their support and support what they're doing in Africa. But guess what? Ibrahim Torah, he's from Burkina Faso. That's his land. That's his. That's not mine. That's his. You got me? If you have issues in Somalia, I support them figuring out how in the world they can solve and stop all the killing going on in Sudan and going on in Somalia. Thank you, Zacharias. I support you guys solving the problem, but dog, we've got our own problems. So why should I focus on yours? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for people in Ghana, black people in Ghana, to be focusing on what's the best interest of America. It's not good. It's not a good thing for you to have people that are worried about what's in the best interest of the United States and what's in the best interest of Israel. Dog, you can't have two masters. You got to have one master. And this is where we're from. I mean, I would support them. I support them in everything they do because Africa has been so exploited. But bro, the same people that exploited you are the same people that are exploiting us. But you guys but we were brainwashed and told the story that we're not from here. They tried to brainwash everybody and say all of the Native Americans, they all died. They all died. There was nobody here when we got here. And then there was this terrible thing where everybody disappeared. Meanwhile, when you really start studying and you use your common sense, you realize that they just requalified. All they did is recategorize people. They categorized people that were indigenous as Indians and some as black. What do you need? Not yet. I have to record them. Okay. Hold on a second. And no, I'm not trying to say screw everybody, man. That's not what I'm saying. I have a lot of support. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that anymore. I don't want to talk about it anymore, man. He said, thanks, Fawn, for pointing out and highlighting the obvious. Yeah, man. It's like, come on, bro. You guys got it. Like, we can't solve our own problem while we're trying to solve Africans' problem. It just doesn't make sense, bro. And really, the guys that try to push it are a bunch of scammers. Let's just also be real about it, because the people, no, I didn't say them. Man, get out of here, bro. Fuck out of here, dog. I'm not interested in you, brother Roots. Take your ass on somewhere else. I don't understand how more I can say that I'm black. I am a black man. That doesn't mean I'm going to fall for the horse shit that you're selling me, okay? I'm not African, and you're not going to make me African. You're not going to make me anything that I'm not. I'm not African. I may have I descend from Africans. I'm not an African. I descend from a lot of different people. The fact of the matter is, I'm in the United States right now. I mean, can we be practical? I mean, if you guys want to do all of this history shit, that's fine. You guys can run around and do all that stuff all you want. But can we practically sit down and say, hey, man, we've got problems. Like, I have to earn money today. I have to be safe with the police. No, you guys want to sit back and have people be in their head wondering about our connections to Shaka Zulu. I mean, dog, stop that shit. That's all you're doing is trying to mislead people. No, man. I don't forever have to war against my country, but it is my country. And you're not going to convince me that the United States of America is not my country. It's my country. It is. That's where I live. I don't know what's wrong with you people. You don't see where your feet are? You don't see what time period you're living in? You don't see it? You just want to live in fancy world and go back to, let's talk about the great times in Egypt and how no, bro. I'm just saying, bro. Come on, man. Color is the rule, bro. They pulled a slick one. That's all it is. You know this shit is AI, right? Yeah, it's AI. I'm AI. I got you. I'm AI. All right, anyway, I'm not going to talk too much more about that. I'm done. I'm done. Just don't do that shit to me, bro. Okay? No. The story doesn't make any sense. Nobody believes the story. And the lies you guys tell are so huge that it's just, come on, man. You had as many as 200 million people in the United States before the British ever even showed up. You guys are still going off this idea that the land was all empty and they just discovered an empty land. It's not what happened. You got brainwashed. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm just saying their problem's not my problem. Bill Martin, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I'm talking about boxing. I got off the topic. What you should know, Bill Martin, is it's my channel. And sometimes I want to talk about what I want to talk about, and that's what it went into. But I will get back to boxing. What happened to Turki Alashiek? What happened to Turki Alashiek? What happened to, nah, dog, I'm not going to go with African lies. I'm talking about in United States. Yeah, blowhard. I got you. I'm a blowhard. What is this? Was that Gerald Ford or something? Yeah, thanks for coming by. I'm a blowhard. I got it. Anyway, can anybody tell me what happened to Turki Alashiek? Turki Alashiek used to talk a lot. And all of a sudden, he's been really quiet for the last month or so. I find that to be very interesting that he's not actively involved in the promotion of Teofimo Lopez and Shakur. Don't you guys find that pretty interesting how he's just not talking very much anymore? I mean, we're in January. When is the next? It's going to be interesting to see how this year. He said he's high. Thank you, Barbara. He's probably getting set up to cover his ass. I'm just gonna do my shit on hold on. These guys are a bunch of idiots and clowns. I agree with you, Fanon. And fix your mic. I can't fix my mic, man. I just keep hitting the shit like this. My mic is fine. It's just a fucked up mic. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah, I got it. Thank you, Guwap. Muted genius. No, man. I mean, I listen to what people tell me, man. I listen to it. I listen and I learn, man. I listen and I'm learn and I learn. And I've listened to that whole debate. I'm listening to the whole debate about the foundational Black America. You are such a handsome man. Okay, thank you, Dungeons Deeper. Somebody supported in the Cash App, bro. Thank you so much, man. Man, my guy Bird 101. Thank you, bro. I got some money today. With a Will Bird 101 with the $5 holler, brother. Thank you, man. Get a job and get a better mic, bro. Dude, this is a Shure mic, you fucking idiot. This is a very nice mic, bro. But it's a mute button. See, dummy? Yeah, bro. Oh, gain wisdom over pride? Nah, you're out of here, bro. Nah, you're out of here, homie. We got to worry about you no more. You come back under another name, okay? Yeah, see you later, bro. Yeah, see you later, bro. Okay? See you later. There's no rage baiting this year, dog. There's no, and I'm not your sweetheart, bro. So I'm going to throw you out of here, okay? Get on out. Look, this is the year 2026, okay? You're not rage baiting me. All right? You're not getting any of that. If you want to, you can click a link and you can debate me if you would like. Ask for the link, jump up here and debate me. But you're not going to get me upset about anything because you're the same group of people, bro. I'm going to tell you, he probably, I don't care that he's going to be on a re-ad card in February. Do not care. I'll tell you the trolls are out today. This man must be speaking some real shit. Oh, I am. Oh, they really don't like when I say this shit. You know why? Because this has ramifications outside of boxing. Oh, they don't like this one, Mark. They don't really want me to get on this topic because this one actually has real ramifications. You know? That's why they're hating. They're hating because I'm not going to go by that shit, dude. You guys are assholes, bro. All right? You guys are assholes that want American money and you're snotty and arrogant about it. Bro, and a lot of Black Americans don't want you here. Just like you wouldn't want us to go to Jamaica and try to run over shit in Jamaica. Just like you wouldn't like for us to go to Great Britain and try to roll over stuff in Great Britain. But you guys think that you can come into the United States with all kind of narratives, all kind of nonsense, all kind of cheating, all kind of stealing, and people are just going to sit back, not notice, and be okay with it. No, you guys have done a lot of damage to American boxing. I mean, I like Jamaica. Jamaica's cool. I got my cousin-in-law is from Jamaica. Shout out to the Jamaicans. But the fact of the matter is Jamaica for the Jamaicans, bro. Jamaica for the Jamaicans. Jamaica for the Jamaicans. Mexico for the Mexicans. Venezuela for the Venezuelans. America for the Americans. I'm American. I want that. I want very well to get along with white people in America. If I could wave a magic wand, Black people in America and white people in America would get along great and realize that we're in this boat together and continue to work together, live together, prosper together, protect the country together. That's what I want for the United States, bro. I'm not trying to ship everybody out. Dog, I'm not trying to hear about your dictionary, go wop. Get out of here, man. Fucking beat it. I don't need your dictionary. You know what I mean when I say the word. When I say the word American, you know what I'm referring to. You guys are just not going to be successful and you're not going to get the money. I'm sorry. You're just not going to get it. You're not. Take your ass back to Britain. What do you want me to say? When Shaka started kicking ass, he was surrounded by ninjas. I mean, they always attack you with black folk because they view us as a marketplace. They view us as something to be exploited. We are viewed as the prize. We, Black Americans, are the cultural superpower. In the United States and around the world, we're a cultural superpower. So you want to take advantage of that, the culture. You want to Africanize it. And then at the same time, convince us that we're really not Americans. And honestly, bro, I think you guys are trying to convince us that we shouldn't want to be Americans. That we shouldn't be patted. You didn't make shit out of me, bro. Fuck out of here, man. You didn't do shit with me. God made me. God made me. I don't know what you're talking about. God, the only person made me was God and my mama. What up, Rick Timms? How you feeling, man? But yeah, this is a good conversation, I think. I know, although I know it's not boxing, you know? Like, nah, man, y'all didn't make us. And I'm not xenophobic. I'm just telling you, I think you guys are a bunch of swindlers. I think you're a bunch of swindlers. I think Turki Alashiek is a swindler. I think Eddie Hearn is a swindler. I think Frank Warren's a decent guy, but he stays over there. You guys are swindlers. And you guys that's what you do. You swindle. Just like you put up a bunch of propaganda to tear down Gervonta Davis, people put up a bunch of propaganda to convince us that we shouldn't be supportive of our own country. You inundate us with a bunch of shit to make us feel like we're not America. Like we're not American. And try to convince us to keep our eyes somewhere else while you come in here and take advantage of the money. Come on, bro. This is a game y'all are playing, bro. And some of y'all are a little better. Some of y'all are better at playing the games than others. But the game is still the game. Whether it's boxing, whether it's basketball, whether it's politics, whether it's this international conversation about FBA versus whatever, dog, all of that stuff. It's a game, bro. It's a game. And I'm saying we just need to focus on what we're doing. Us, what we're doing. And not pay attention to, man, look, bro, we were taught, they tried to sell us AJ. They didn't want us to have Deontay. They wanted us to have AJ. They don't want us to have Gervonta. They want us to have Devin. You know what I mean? Like, no. You don't want us to have AI. You don't want us to have Allen Iverson. You want us to have Djokovic. You want us to have Djokovic. No, man, now, I'm not telling you to go away, but I'm just saying, look, man, stop trying to do that shit to us. Because you know full well if we went to Africa, you wouldn't welcome us. You know full well if we went to Jamaica, you wouldn't welcome us. You know full well if we go anywhere that's not a vacation and we would have sat up there and camped out in your country talking bad about you, you wouldn't like us either. Pan-African can't just be one way, which means the people come to America and the American money leaves. No, bro, you're just exploiting Black Americans with the same line that Andy Young and these guys tried to pull on us by making us call ourselves African American. Why? Because they wanted to create it like, you know, I don't know what you're talking about, a house Negro, bro. I don't care what you're saying. I don't. I really don't. Mind your business. Nobody that's American is saying the shit that you guys are saying. Nobody. There is no Black American that has been in Black America who's from here that have dealt with people coming in on a regular basis from other countries that do not know that you guys have very condescending attitudes about us. You want to take advantage of the things that we've done, but you don't want to be associated with us because you think you're better educated. You think you're a harder worker, and you say, oh, we're lazy. You guys perpetuate the same stereotypes about Black people that white people did. You know what I mean? I know you don't like it, bro, because this live stream is hitting a little bit below the belt, isn't it? The live stream is hitting a little bit below the belt, isn't it? Little bit below the belt, isn't it? Everybody wants to be black until it's time to talk about black. Don't make it about race then. Did I say anything about race? I said I'm black. I said I'm American. That's not race. I don't care what the fuck you want. It is what it is. I'm telling you right now, I don't care what you think. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care what you think. It's not, your opinion doesn't count. Let me tell you something, bro. Your opinion about Black America does not count because you're not one of us. Since you're not one of us, who cares what you think? And you have the right to say the same thing to me. Why should somebody from Pakistan care what I think about Pakistan? Why? Why should a Black American give a shit about what a Jamaican thinks about Black America? Why should a Jamaican give a shit about what a Black American thinks about Jamaica? That's your country. That's yours. My opinion about you doesn't matter. I will respect that. But you guys don't want to do that with Black Americans. You want your opinion to matter about our business because our business brings big money and yours doesn't. I get it. We've got way more money than you. So you want to be part of us, get the money, but you don't want the social baggage that comes along with it. Monica Soli said, oh my God, what you're saying, you are saying it is so ugly, but so right and true. Wow, what the hell? Bro, you guys are just, I don't know what the fuck you guys are coming from. Let me tell you something, bro. I'm not interested in you kids. All right? I don't give a shit what you kids think. I don't care. Everybody's opinion changes over time because you learn things over time. I don't care what you little kids think. You were not there when Jesse Jackson and those guys started pushing this in the late 1980s, in the early 1990s. And it was set up with Roots. That was their attempt to qualify us and make us. I saw it, bro. That's why I'm talking about it. The receipts I dropped you are the heat, and it's just scratching the surface. Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, that's where he started. It started then. It started then. Bro, I remember it. They tried to convince us all we were African, starting with Roots. And then you had people start naming their names, all kind of African Islamic names. Bro, we're American, bro. We're not going anywhere. The 1960s is over. The 1970s is over. The 1980s is over. That's their problem. They don't know no better. Learn history, young folk. It's exactly, bro. I'm not listening to you little kids, bro, who are still trying to figure it out. There's no way that you're going to be successful if you don't focus on where you live. I'm telling you, you're never going to be successful if you're focusing on somebody else's. You can't. And our roots are right here. I mean, seriously, my roots are right here. It came out the blue too. I'm going to send you the round table of Stokely Carmichael completely changing his tune on Black paid agent. Well, they were going to kill him. They were going to kill Stokely Carmichael. They were going to kill Stokely Carmichael. So Stokely Carmichael was, now I always wondered what that thing was with SNCC, student non-violating. Yeah, he's a bright guy though. Yeah, man, you know, it's what it is though. Hey, Barbara D, thank you so much. $20 holler for the grind. Thank you. Yo, I know that's why he got out of Dodge. Yeah, man, they be trying to kill folk, bro. Like, seriously, bro, they'll kill you, man. These dudes will kill you. That's serious. Man, let me tell you, man. Man, phenomenal noob. If I tell you exactly like how this thought process is so anti-congressional Black caucus, It is so anti church. It's both of those organizations, both the Congressional Black Caucus, the reverends and the pastors. They are the ones that are trying to connect us to Africa. We are connected to Africa, obviously. I'm not saying there's no African connection to us. There obviously is. However, you have to understand that that comes from the East Coast. There are black people that have been here the entire time out west in Oklahoma, in Kansas, in Texas, all through Mexico. Bro, you guys were sold this idea that this great transformation of a population took place, which just justified them ruling the population. But most of that stuff, just like most of these lies about Turki Alashiek, are coming out of New York City. And they're coming from the same group of people, man, where they try to do it. Say, yes, they had Noob spitting straight facts. Yeah, look, man, dog, they don't want this type of conversation out there because they don't ever want to have to deal. Let me tell you something, man. Say for a second. Let's do a little hypothetical for a second. Think for a minute. He said, yep, all that Pan-African stuff is nowhere in the South, nowhere. Nah, that stuff's all out east. The Hebrew Israelites, all that stuff, even the Nation of Islam, most of that stuff is up north, up east. The trends start from Hollywood and New York, and then they meet in the middle because they got an enclave out in LA called the entertainment industry, and they've got the financial sector in New York. And the two of those work very well. They work together to convince people of what the economy should be and what you should think about history, what you should think about animals, what you should think about global warming, all of the above, man. Yeah, all of it's northeast. It's up in that corridor. It's right there, all in there, because that's where they came in. And that's where they're strongest. That's where they're strongest. That's where they're strongest. But look, man, I'm sorry. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. And I definitely ain't been talking boxing for shit. No, you can say I can dream on. It's the truth. It's the truth, bro. Live more. You know what I mean? Live a little bit, dog. I know it sucks that you guys are getting busted out, though. Really and truly, I know that it sucks that you're getting busted out. I know it. All right? I know it. You guys got way too mad about me saying this morning. Way too mad. Way too mad. I think some of you guys got hit where it hurts. The best thing Black America can do is not give you guys a penny. That's the best we can do, is not give you a red cent. That's the best we could do. And we should bond with Americans. I'm telling you, it's not going to do us any good. Like, I'm 56 years old. What good does it do for me to dedicate the rest of my life to African independence? None. How much, if I was in Africa, how much good would it do for me to fight for African independence? A lot. Why? Because I'm in Africa. The only place that I can effectuate the truth and effectually improve the conditions of the group that I'm concerned about is by working in America with Americans. If Black people in America decided and white people in America decided we were the same group, they were all Americans and we're all here and we're all going to work together for the improvement and the betterment of our country, regardless of how you got here, the fact that we're here now, we have to work together here and now. We don't need to be talking about we're from Africa. That is a stupid conversation to be having when we're in a lot of trouble. Neely Fuller Jr. said it great. He's like, bro, what do we care about the history for? Because the history, if the history is what you said the history is, shit, it got us here. So why are we looking backwards? The only reason that you should look backwards is to see what mistakes you made. You know what I mean? Bro, I don't know why you're talking to me like that, bro, but you can leave, okay? All right, you can leave. My wife said I wanted for me to do a positive live stream today. I wanted to have a positive live stream. And this is the type of content that I do on MH Blackwell. So if you like this content, please make sure to be there today later on where we can talk about it in greater depth. What I meant to say was keep talking the truth on this podcast. Oh, thank you, Gregory. I appreciate you. Not me, but I think it's important to understand, bro. I am very pro-black, and I consider myself to be a Pan-Africanist in this sense, that we all have a commonality together, and we all have similar needs. But we cannot allow the same and divide and conquer tactics to be used. Because every time there's some movement, there's always some inevitable letdown. We had the 1970s and we were doing whatever we were doing. Was it Black Panthers? Yeah, it was the Black Panthers. Anyway, white people just want to be superior and keep black people second class. Trump and company is trying to strip our history. Yeah, I mean, they'll do it if you let them. Most of the history, I think, is already stripped. I think most of it's already stripped, you know, but I don't think you really can if you just think about it for a second. Like, really and truly, we are Americans. Brother Root. They did us so dirty with Pan-Africanism. Just nasty work. You know, the funny thing is, though, it was not them. It was the compromise. It was the compromise. I'm telling you, it's Jesse Jackson, bro. I'm telling you, it's that, bro, Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson and Rainbow Push, the Rainbow Push Coalition in the 1980s and the 1990s, bro. Those guys are ops, bro. I was sitting with them in Howard Law School, bro. Let me tell you what they got mad at me about. Let me tell you how I pissed off the entire Congressional Black Caucus and several sitting judges. Because I was at Howard Law School, and it was my first year. And they were talking about Israel. We were talking about, it all came out at one time, too. It was all orchestrated, very orchestrated. Very orchestrated, bro. Andy Young, the Atlanta niggas for the most part, bro. Jesse Jackson was a snitch for the feds. Look, bro, Jesse Jackson is a damn card-carrying Cherokee. I mean, he looks it. Look, that's why I'm saying, Rick Timms, where you live right now. Where do you live right now, bro? Where do you live right now? That's where it's important to take care of, where you live right now. That's me anyway. I'm sorry that I went on about that for so long, bro. You know, because that's not going to get me more subscribers. And that's going to have more pressure on me. Because now you got all these, because I've been listening to y'all talk, man. Like, nah, you guys aren't even from the United States, bro. Why am I hating on Jesse Jackson? Because I don't like Jesse Jackson. He's an asshole. I know Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson's an asshole. That's why I don't like Jesse Jackson. It's very clear why I don't like Jesse Jackson. Because Jesse Jackson's an asshole, number one. Just as a person, he's an asshole. I've been around him several times, met him several times, and he was the most arrogant man in the room every time. That's why I don't like Jesse Jackson. What about the Black Panthers? What about the Black Panthers destroy the free breakfast program before the United States government did? Bro, let me tell you something, man. Jesse Jackson, I don't like him as a person, bro. Bro, I don't care about your politics when you're an asshole. I don't care about your politics when you're an asshole. Because as soon as I find out you're an asshole, I don't believe that you actually have good politics. They're arrogant assholes, bro. They really are. Man, I can't even tell you guys. I mean, I can't even explain it to you from my perspective. From my perspective, as somebody that these people have all been around, and I'm not even going to say it the way that I'm going to say it the way it really is. They've been around me. They've been around me. I don't give a shit if he called me an asshole or not. I'm calling him an asshole. No, he didn't call me an asshole. No, he didn't call me an asshole because I'm not an asshole. That's why he didn't call me an asshole. If I would have behaved like he behaved, then he might have called me an asshole. Most people call you an asshole because you're being an asshole. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton ran a scheme. Yeah, they did. They are fake as shit. Fake as shit. Absolutely 100% op. Absolutely with the powers that be, the status quo, the whole nine, bro. Facts, 100%. When's the last time you seen African-American studies in a city school? They took it all out. I'm just telling you. Because the church was king. Because the church was king in Black America at the time, all by design. Yeah, because of slavery, bro. The church is not king anymore. Church ain't king anymore. I'm just telling you, man. I was around. I met Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton tried to one-up me. I mean, it's hard for me to even explain it, bro. I get tired of telling people shit that like you're never gonna believe. So, I mean, where people are gonna say stupid shit. So I don't even want to say it anymore. But I'm just gonna tell you for sure, bro, these guys are not honest campers. They are being told what to say. You know? See, look at this, man. Yeah, what's going on? You fell off hard. I got you, bro. I see that you're still out here, bro, making fake names up. I see that you're still out here making up fake names every day. I haven't gone anywhere, bro. If I wanted to have 400 people in this live stream right now, I'd have 400 people in here. You know why? Because I would just talk about what 400 people want to hear about. As long as I can wake up in the morning and have 8,000 people listen to me, because that's probably what's going to wind up. I don't know, maybe this is like 5, because I got Devin, Haney, and Anthony Joshua in there. Nah, if they're just trying to be the same guys that are always talking stupid shit, it's the same stupid troll. It's just the same stupid troll that has an attraction to me. You know what I mean? Religion is the opiate of the masses. Questioning corrupt, greed, and child rape is a sin. Why? Ask you need your money, can't pay taxes to improve the infrastructure. It's just jacked up, bro. You know why? Because these guys hate what I'm having to say, Barbara D. Barbara D, can I tell you something delusional? In my delusional world, let me tell you about my delusional world. In my delusional world, Barbara D, all of these people that I'm talking about know perfectly well what I'm saying. And because they know perfectly well what I'm saying, they're not going to be happy about it at all. You think that they don't like what I have to say about boxing? This shit here is way worse than boxing. In fact, Barbara D, these same scumbag people attacked me in my private life so hard because they wanted to make sure that I was never in a position to be an elected official or in a position to challenge them in politics. Not only are these people scumbags, they're also actively involved in suppressing black people, young black people who have revolutionary ideas. Yes, they were. When I was a young man, 24 years old in law school, black nationalist with a lot of money. Let me repeat that. I was 24 years old, had a political science degree, law degree, from Chicago in a very connected family. And these people knew I was a black nationalist. They knew that I was a black nationalist. They knew that I did not have kind feelings towards Israel or any of those of the above. And they went out of their way the same way that say Bill Haney would do it. That's what they did, because they wanted to make sure that somebody like me would never rise up, and that I would never be in a position where I could talk to a large amount of people and explain to people the things that I understand. Now, Phenomenal Noop, let me tell you something else. I think you're right about Stokely Carmichael. And let me tell you, can you put a comment in the comment section, Phenomenal Noop? Because this really conversation is for you. Look, bro. You know how you said Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael was a fraud? I think you may be on to something, because when I spoke with him, he spoke in front of I was the vice president of Political Science Club, and he came to Dillard a lot to talk in the 90s and early 90s, late 1980s, early 90s. He came to talk a lot at Dillard, and I sat in class with him. And he was talking about the necessity for conflict, right? And basically his speech was saying that there's always going to be conflict, and that we are always and that conflict is a good thing, because without conflict, the table can't stand, right? And now that I understand what he's saying, that is very Messianic. But also, I talked to him about the concept of neocolonialism. Neocolonialism was a concept that was developed by Kwame Nkrumah, who I do believe was the first president of Ghana. If I get it wrong, please forgive me. But neocolonialism is described as the way that the former colonial powers exploit their former colonies, right? It is a very, very essential theory to Black liberation in the 1950s and the 1960s. And I asked Stokely Carmichael about it. And Stokely Carmichael didn't know anything about it. He didn't know anything about it. I swear to God, he didn't know anything about it. And for years, I was like, wow, I stumped Stokely Carmichael. But now I'm like, okay, this dude is talking about always needing conflict. Like, I didn't get what he was saying. It was now that I understand how the Messianic code goes, when you're talking about 4 legs of a table and all of that shit, I'm like, man, this dude is, now I get what you're saying, man. I went to, Fanon, where did you go to attend college? I went to college at Dillard University, Howard University, School of Law, and Harvard University. I have all my degrees and certifications come from Dillard University, Howard University School of Law, and Harvard School of Business. I love saying Harvard School of Business because that makes me fancy. Conflict is a communication in a crazy way. I'm just saying, man, you must be talking to a lot of young folks, because anyone over 50 already knows this. Already knows what? Of course I'm talking to, but everybody know you don't. I have no idea why you would fake, bro. Come on, bro. Don't do that shit, bro. Anyway, man, yeah, get a shave. I get you. I understand you. Yep. I'll shave eventually. Yep. Call someone a hype job if you've never laced up but got into the square surf. Bro, he's a fucking hype job. What are you fucking talking about? There are hype job musicians. I don't have to be a singer to point out that a singer is a hype job. What do you mean? Sometimes you guys just amaze me with your stupidity. Bro, I don't have to be a boxer to say somebody's a hype job. If you say somebody's the greatest fighter in the world and it winds up that they're nothing like what you said they were, that makes them a hype job. The promoter hypes and they overhyped AJ. So if somebody, no, bro. No, he's a fraud if you say that you're a Pan-Africanist and you don't understand what neocolonialism. That's a fraud, bro. Okay? If you say you're a doctor, but you don't know what a heart is, you're not a fucking doctor. Okay? Let me repeat that. If you claim that you're a medical doctor, but somebody asks you what an artery is, and you don't know what an artery is, but you claim you're a doctor, I'm doubting you're a doctor. Okay? If you claim you're a lawyer, and I ask you what a contract is, and you can't answer that question, more than likely you're not a lawyer. So, if I ask you a question about the essence of Pan-Africanism and one of the most revolutionary thinkers in the movement of African nationalism, and you don't know what he said, that makes me think that you may not be as revolutionary as you say you are, because there's no reason for me to know that and somebody of the stature of Stokely Carmichael not to know that. So what is Stokely Carmichael? If Stokely Carmichael is being read lines and he's just a guy that's giving speeches, just similar to, just so you know this, Malcolm X did not know nearly any of the history that he talked about. All of the history that you heard Malcolm X talk about came from John Henrik Clarke. John Henrik Clarke. So, no, Malcolm X was not a historian. What he was is a motivational speaker. Stokely Carmichael is also a motivational speaker. He is very electric. He can get a crowd going. Martin Luther King, electric. He can get a crowd going. When you have a figurehead or you have somebody that is only giving speeches, you have to think that there's a brain trust behind them. There's a brain trust behind Kwame Ture. There is a brain trust behind Barack Obama. There's a brain trust behind Martin Luther King, behind Malcolm X. So the question is, who is the brain trust? Where are the ideas coming from? What are you giving the speech for? Kwame Ture was going through, or Stokely Carmichael was giving speeches to future influential people, because he's going to black colleges and universities where we're trained to do this. Nobody said anything about evolving. It's about being honest. Are you what you say you are? Are you what you say you are? Just because Turki, and let's talk about boxing for a second. Talk about Turki Alashiek, bro. This has been a fun live stream for me. Really fun live stream, bro. If you feel like supporting it, please support it. Because I basically did my 2 o'clock show this morning. But for real, come on, man. Ain't nobody got to keep playing this act. In truth, you don't even know what Pan-African is, bro. Get out of here. Pan-Africa is talking about the diaspora of former slaves. Who you got January 31st, T or Shakur? I got Shakur. Nature Boy back to boxing. But look, what is this? Oh, wow, how did that happen? And Rocco McBride said every time there was an organic movement about blacks being mistreated, they would send Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton to take the lead. They come and do a couple speeches and leave, movement dies. Exactly. They always standing there. They always stand there, bro. They sit down, they jump in there, and they pay everybody off. They jump in there and they start paying people off is what they start doing. Oh, we can get some funding from these guys. Let's get some funding from these guys. And then they get funding for the meetings. No, I didn't. Hey, Joshua Riley say, Fanon, did you see Tim Bradley going off on Shakur? No, I didn't see Tim Bradley going off on Shakur. I didn't. I don't know what's Tim Bradley going off on Shakur about. OZ Mark said, I fuck with this MH Blackwell-ish salute. Yeah, man, go subscribe to the channel, man. I'll be back over there. This is what I'm trying to get used to talking about this stuff, bro. I just rewatched Sugar Ray and Hagler, and I still had Sugar winning 7-5. Yeah, thank you for, hey, anybody want to talk boxing? Here's a link. If you like to talk boxing, here's a link. I really appreciate you guys talking to me today. I really, really do. I think they're all actors, bro. I think they're actors, bro. Seriously, bro. I think they're actors. Very bright people. I think they can all be good, I think they can all be good, have good hearts and desire good things for people. What's up, that 81st God? The 81st God, how you feeling, bro? What's going on, man? You're there to get the bag. But anyway, it is. Everybody's there to get the bag, man. I don't and I don't want to offend anybody that's not a Black American, because, it is what it is, bro. What is this? Oh, okay. Okay, let me see. Thanks, bro. I stole that shit. All right, I see you. I see you. That's cool. What we just chopping about anything, man. We was talking about Black people making everybody bad. Nature Boy got me back on boxing. Who had a better jab between Foreman, Holmes, and Sonny Liston? Probably Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes or Sonny Liston, because Foreman doesn't have much of a jab, bro. I don't know, man. I just think they're actors, bro. That's just me, man. I think they're actors, bro. That's me. I could be wrong. I just think they're actors. I just think they're actors. That's for me. Me. My opinion. What? That's beautiful. You know better than all of us. What is that? What is that? Let me tell you something, dog. Seriously, man. Phenomenal noob. I can't even tell you this shit, the stories about these guys, man. About Jesse Jackson, fucking Al Sharpton, Vernon Jordan. You remember Vernon Jordan? Hey, do you ever heard of Phenomenal noob? Who do I have in a prime between Canelo and Duran? Duran's too small. Corrupt Canelo. Yeah, man, but bro, seriously, dog. Man, bro, these dudes was some serious agents, man. These guys were agents, dog. They're on TV, but they're agents, man. Agents, bro. Agents. Man, it is what it is. What is this? Man, it's terrible these guys died. Yeah, government plans. All Fugazi government plans. Yeah. Man, let me tell you something, bro. These dudes, man, made my life a fucking living hell, bro. I am not going to lie, bro. Them dudes, man, they did not want to see a young man come up, bro. They really didn't want, because they had all this civil rights. They got all that power in the 1960s, and they never wanted to give it up. You know, that's one thing that man, my God, bro, they made life hard on a dude, bro. Like looking back in retrospect, bro, because they always hide their hands. They hide their hands, Noop. They hide their hands and they throw rocks, bro. You know? You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, bro, like I've been around them all, man. I've been around them all, bro. And there was so much fucking political pressure on anybody that was doing business with me, bro, that they really got these dudes like not even to speak to me. You know? Like I've got friends that will not answer calls. You know, for a period of time, they wouldn't answer calls. They wouldn't, because those guys just set their target on me. I overcame them, but they set their target on me, bro. You know, and a lot of the shit that was, you know, that drove me to hospitals for mental illness and things like that, bro. Dog, they will really orchestrate the same shit that they orchestrate on a large scale. They will orchestrate on a personal scale. You know, that's the thing that really, and why I'm such a big supporter of Gervonta Davis, bro. Because, like, you have this big movement in boxing where these guys are trying to reorganize boxing in the way that they want it to be. And meanwhile, they also have a personal attack on guys like Gervonta Davis because they want to spotlight him in particular. So you guys got to understand that these people that I'm talking about, not only did they orchestrate this Black Africanism movement, not saying that we shouldn't have a connection with Africa, because it would be a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? It really would be a beautiful thing. But that's how they anticipated that they would make their money. They were interested in getting the freedom of South Africa and Nelson Mandela, right? Because remember, what was that, like the 1980s? So these guys had a lot of global influence. Andrew Young became an ambassador to the United Nations. Jesse Jackson actually got nominated or as a Democrat, something like that. You know, I'm good on it. You know where I stand. Yeah, you know, it's like, man, like seriously, bro. These guys, Adolf, what's the guy's name? It's not Adolf Caesar, but it's Adolf. I can't remember his name, but it's a professor. And they talked about like how Black power gave way to the Black establishment. Like civil rights gave its way and kind of faded out. And then they got this big Black power movement, which was significant. And it was really, really, really powerful. And then they just switched it to Black establishment and getting a lot of mayors elected, congressmen elected, and really said, oh no, we need to focus on elections. We don't need to focus on taking care of our communities individually and having these different parties, a third party that will, you know, they didn't want that. They wanted us to be in bed with the Democrats. And we were going to be in bed with the Democrats for the next 60 years. That's the plan. So the powers that be went global, right? More focused on South Africa than they really are in the United States. You know, resentment is like drinking poison. Resentment is like drinking poison in hopes that I will kill your enemies. Yeah, I know. I got to stop that shit because I be resenting the shit out of Bill Haney. Anthony Joshua went back to Africa and got messed up badly in a car crash. Did you see that? Yes, I did. Whose headquarters was at Trump Tower? Said, man, I got so much to say, but I'm gonna be quiet. Hey, man, I got to speak today. I felt good about it, bro. I felt good. I needed a break from talking about boxing, but I do want to ask you guys this, though. What's up with your boy, Turki Alashiek? Have you guys heard anything about Turki Alashiek paying $50 zillion for a fight? Or did you hear that Devin Haney is going to go back to rehab so he can get some Saudi money, this actual Saudi money? What happened to Turki Alashiek and all his damn money? What happened to Matchroom and all his money? Why are you getting access to steal all this money from hedge funds and trust funds? Going right back over there, bum-ass little dude. Yeah, because he can't sell out in the U.S. Because he can't sell out in the U.S. Devin can't even fight in the U.S. But yet he's the man. You know what I mean? Anyway, man, I talked a lot of shit that wasn't blocked. The Prince is putting money in Netflix now. The Prince is not putting any fucking money in Netflix, bro. Jesus Christ. Oh, what? Oh, yeah. I'm sure he's a big friend of, I'm sure Jesse Jackson. Look, bro, I didn't like Jesse Jackson because the way Jesse Jackson treated me personally. And I was warned by somebody that they did not like what I had to say. And guess what I told them? I told them that it did not matter. Yeah, Adolph Reed, that's what I'm referring to, Adolph Reed. Look, man, I made a statement in front of the Congressional Black Caucus, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and the entire black power structure, political power structure, at Howard University in around 1990, I think it was 1993 that I did it. And I told them, because they were talking about how we need to have economic this and economic that, and they were basically talking about how we need to do this with money and that with money. And I disagreed with them. And I said, look, I've always had money my entire life. I've never not had money. I've always lived. I've always been taken care of. And I'm telling you that racism is not about money. Our problem is about race and racism. It's not about money. And I said that we're not going to be able to earn our way out of it because I've already been in a situation where we have a lot of money and the racism persists. So I really had a problem with them in the way that they were trying to make everything about money, but not look at the underlying problem, which is the fact that people think black people are inferior. And until we actually address the problem with the fact that black people and white people think black people are inferior, we're never going to fix the problem that we have. And you better believe coming out of my mouth that they hated that because they ain't got no money. And we've got money. They don't have money. So when I said that money won't solve the problem, you better believe they got pissed at me. They got pissed at me because it was like, no, we want to throw money at the problem. Throw money at the problem. And I'm like, you're not going to get anything by throwing money at the problem. All you're going to wind up having is all the money spin up. And that's why I think these guys are con men, bro. These guys are connected to the money. These dudes are making a lot of money. And they feel like they're very powerful people. They can make moves. Jesse Jackson thought he could ruin me. He thought he could, him, Al Sharpton, and these people thought that they could ruin young black people that were thinking the way that we were thinking. Because it was not in line with the civil rights movement and what they were trying to do when they were the age I was at that time. So no, bro, you guys are, and honestly, man, they got richer and black America has got poorer. They've got every avenue open to them. They get business deals. They can get their friends' business deals. And then they can sit in this upper echelon of people looking down on everybody else, talking about the problems they want to solve. Exactly. That's what it is, man. And they hate me, man. Because they couldn't do anything with me. They hated me because they couldn't do anything with me. And I'm going to remember that shit for the rest of my life, bro. Because as soon as I said that, I got warned. They don't like what you said, man. They really don't like what you had to say. Yeah, as in we don't want to give you no money. Fix the fucking problem, bro. That's what I'm saying. These guys are all a bunch of fucking thieves. Changing the family tree don't do nothing. Exactly. Changing their family tree don't do nothing for us. Nope. We added $2 trillion a year to the economy and own nothing to think about it. No, we own a lot of shit, bro. They just won't let us have it. H-Town Creole, nah, bro, we own a lot of stuff. They just won't let us have it. And anytime we get close to getting it back, you've got some tethers, and I'm going to use that word tethers, faking like they're black, causing all kind of drama to prevent us from getting what's ours, bro. They're muddying. That's what it is, bro. That's what it looks like to me. Let me say that. That's what it looks like to me. But nah, man, I'm telling you, man, these dudes are some wild ass people, bro. Blacks need to focus on ourselves in America before we think about any other continent country. We need to get our shit right here. Yeah, exactly. But look, let me get out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. I didn't talk because they are tethers. Call it what it is. They are a buffer class. Yeah, a black buffer class. But dude, let me tell you something phenomenal, Newt. And I mean this shit to the bottom of my heart, bro. They can't do shit. The gig is up. They can't do shit. The gig is up. They can't do nothing because the gig is up. And not only is the gig is up with the black leaders that are the ones that are acting. They are the ones that want the benefit. They want their $200,000 a year, $300,000 a year for redirecting billions of dollars to somebody else. That's what they're there for. That's what politicians are there to do. They're there to route the money, right? Because they have appropriations committees and it's about the money. The executive branch can't spend a lot of money without the approval of Congress. So they earmark stuff. They stick all kind of money because their job is to pass the money to white people. The black hand passing the money to the white people. Oh, I know they can't. They haven't been able to defeat us for centuries. All that stuff is dead now. It's over with. It's over with. Anyway, let me get out of here, man. I hope can you put a 1 in the chat if you enjoyed the live stream? I know it was very Negro. I know some of y'all may have been offended by the fact that I went against what is commonly taught in U.S. history. But we'll be back to boxing tomorrow, man. We'll be back to boxing tomorrow. I promise. I didn't want to go off on Devin Haney too bad, bro. I just wanted to say, bro, look, man, you a fraud, homie. You guys ain't selling no tickets. You ain't no star. You guys are just taking advantage of people, bro. And I think I know where the money's coming from. And I've been saying it for the several weeks. I think I know where your money's coming from. And I know your money's run out because your family members that gave you access to that money, they're all fired. All of your people that are around you that were helping you do this, they're all going to get fired. Okay? And I mean this very much, bro. You may not like this, bro. Somebody on this channel said that we should go visit Nicolas Maduro and we should get our oil from Venezuela. I don't like coincidences. Was it a coincidence that not too long after we said we don't need to buy Saudi oil, we can just go to Venezuela to get oil? In my delusion, where I don't deal well with, where I really don't deal well with coincidences, I think what wound up happening is literally Donald Trump took his ass to Venezuela, snatched Nicolas Maduro, and took 500,000 gallons, or 50 million gallons of oil, which is about $2.8 million in cost. But when you make it into gasoline, it may be $5-6 trillion worth of money that Donald Trump just snatched right out of Venezuela. You realize that they also snatched Citgo and Citgo. Snatched Citgo, snatched 500 million or whatever it was, basically $3 billion worth of crude oil, which they are then going to be able to pump off, bro. We built that infrastructure up for Venezuela anyway, and they did nothing with it and took our companies, then got in bed with China, Russia and China. That's a fact. Yeah, they did. But they damn sure snatched you. You are literally just making shit up. No, I'm not. Would you like for me to tell you the news today, sir? No worries. I'll help you out. I'll go to Twitter. You think I'm making stuff up? I'll show you what I'm not making up. Man, bullshit, bro. You not selling them tickets. Hold on 1 second. Oh, no, I know what I'm doing. I'll show you, man. That's exactly how much they snatched, bro. I know you don't like it, dog. But they snatched it. Oh, they deleted it. The post got deleted by the author. Damn, I can't find it. They're not stealing that oil to help American people. Gas is not going to be cheaper. I don't care. No, they didn't. They snatched about $8 billion out of their ass, is what they did. I know what they did. I don't think it's helping anybody, but the people that are going to get the 8,000. Oh, no worries. I'll get it for you. Donald Trump. Oil from Venezuela. All right. For dumbasses. For the dumbass in the comment section that thinks I'm making shit up. Trump says Venezuela will give up to 50 million barrels of oil to the U.S. This oil will be sold at market price and the money will be controlled by me, the president of the United States, Trump says. Now, anything else, stupid? Anything else? In Venezuela, why don't you just ask someone from Venezuela if they're mad? I don't give a shit if they're mad or not. That don't mean they took it. They're paying us back. That's, dog, will you stop that shit? They're not paying. They snatched the fucking president, dog. Donald Trump ain't giving you jack shit. He snatched Nicolas Maduro straight out of his fucking, straight out of his shit, bro. Anyway, yeah, making shit up, bro. Yeah, I made that shit up right there. I made the USA Today say that shit. Get your bum ass out of here. That's why your boy got snatched. Yeah, he's a dictator that got his ass snatched. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You know what I mean? It's a jack move. And yes, it was a jack move, bro. I'm literally making this shit up. I'm licking it up. He's literally making this up. No, I'm not. You just don't read the news, bro. Donald Trump absolutely positively snatched Nicolas Maduro. He absolutely kidnapped Nicolas Maduro. He flew 150 military planes over Venezuela and said, we're going to bomb you into oblivion if you don't get this guy up. And they gave the guy up, and he's sitting in jail like a petty criminal for drug dealing. Okay? The president of Venezuela is sitting in the pen like Pookie from New Jack City, bro. He's sitting there like Pookie from New Jack City, dog. Snatched his ass out. DEA snatched his ass up. You're making this shit up. No, I know who you are, Venezuela. And that's what you get. Not only that, let me say something. That's what you fuckers get. That's what you get. I'm not super in love with Donald Trump, but I'm loving that he slapped the shit out of y'all, because I'm going to tell you the most racist Latino that I ever met was Venezuelan. The most racist Latino that I have ever met in my life was Venezuelan. A complete fucking asshole, super fucking arrogant. And matter of fact, there was a class of Venezuelans who used to work, and not all of them, some of them, Julio was cool, but a bunch of them thought that they were just upper level white people, bro. So I don't give a shit if these dudes snatch Nicolas Maduro. And I'm sure the money is going to go well used by somebody that works for Trump. The world I'm just telling you. And I know Venezuelans that were very racist. And that's what you fucking get. That's what you get. You just got reminded that your ass ain't white. That's the ultimate reminder. Dog, you ain't white. So they snatch your ass up with your disrespectful asses. Especially in Chicago, those Venezuelans that I know are extraordinarily disrespectful. And one time, I had to literally tell this Venezuelan that I was working with, if you talk to me that way one more time, bro, I swear I'm going to fuck you up. And I said the shit on a job. That's how condescending this dude was. How condescending and arrogant he was. And I was like, bro, and I told him he couldn't defend himself for nothing. Nothing. If I want to snatch his ass up, I could snatch his ass up like it was nothing. But he was cocky. You know they don't like that, dog. Because they're cool with Maduro. Just because they were socialists, just because they're socialists and they sit in the United States and say they don't like, nah, they took advantage of the Maduro and Chavez. Yeah, because it's socialist, all right, but they're still getting Venezuelan contracts and a lot of money. And they're in Chicago. So, yeah, there were some cocky, arrogant jackasses, and I'm very, very happy that Donald Trump snatched them. I'm glad that Nicolas Maduro didn't die. And I'm glad that there's not, and I'm glad that Nicolas Maduro didn't die, and I'm glad that there weren't Americans and there was probably Venezuelans killed. But you know what I mean? But still at the same time, bro, I'm not trying to hear that shit. You guys don't treat black people right. If you don't treat black people right when you're in the United States, why in the hell do I care that thug Trump snatched your ass up? Trump ain't snatching me. You know what I'm saying? Trump is snatching you. Which says some shit about you, that you ain't got shit popping, okay? Because Donald Trump can't just run in and arrest Vladimir Putin. He ran up and arrested y'all, dude, just to show y'all how weak you are. And it's probably because you burn bridges. But since there are Venezuelans that got hurt, it's okay. I don't give a shit. Bro, let me tell you something, dog. There's people that get hurt every day. You're not ever going to get me to say, people are at war and they got hurt. It's unfortunate they got work. All I'm saying is there were Venezuelans that probably got hurt. Probably were. Probably were. It's called war, dumbass. It's called war, stupid. Yes, people get hurt all the time. 400. How many people got murdered in Chicago this year? How many people got murdered in D.C. this year? There's people that get murdered and hurt all the time. But I'm going to tell you, dog, if you are playing games with the wrong people, it's war when somebody snatches your ass out of your seat, dumbass. Let me tell you something, bro. If I send somebody to your dumbass and snatch your dumbass out of your house, put your ass in jail in another country, because I'm the U.S. president and I use 150 airplanes to do it, and then come in behind with the DEA, brother, that's war. That's war. That's an act of war. You just can't do shit. It's just saying you can't do shit. We can snatch your number one guy right out of the house. You can't do nothing. That is war. If they tried to do that to the United States, it would be war. Get it? Let Venezuela try to fly 150 airplanes into U.S. airspace and try to kidnap Donald Trump. Guess what's going to happen? There's going to be 3,000 airplanes blowing them mugs up. And then they're going to go to Venezuela and do a lot of dirt. The only reason you guys didn't jump back is because you can't. The only reason you didn't do anything back is because you can't. Because you're weak. Weak. Man, I'm not trying to hear that shit. You can get away. Again, I'm American. I don't like Donald Trump. I don't. But in America, dude, we've been killing people a lot of time. Now they can all go back home and work for him. Newt, talking big dog talk now. I'm telling you, you can get the fuck on, bro. Hey, you soft as shit. And you guys are assholes, and they beat the shit out of you and took your money. It's what happened to you. Y'all started you popping your lips. Donald Trump couldn't do it in his first one. Donald Trump was not able to do it in his first one. He wasn't able to do it. Joe Biden wasn't able to do anything. Then all of a sudden, out the blue, Donald Trump just runs in there and snatches him. No, that's somebody else giving Donald Trump permission to snatch him. That's Donald Trump getting position, getting permission to go snatch your ass. Y'all should stay out of Americans' business, bro. Anyway, what's going on when China does the same to Taiwan, or how they get China's presence in Caribbean? That's going to be interesting. Look, man, I just personally believe that this is a personal thing. I think the snatching of Nicolas Maduro was personal. I don't really think it was geopolitical. I think it was personal. I think that there are some people in the United States that support Nicolas Maduro whose britches got too big, whose britches got too big, and they got taught a lesson, bro. That's what I think. I could be wrong. That's what I think. Monroe Doctrine. Yeah, you just got cocky and somebody checked your ass. That's why I don't like Anthony Joshua in his retirement. I think somebody checked his ass. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but you guys don't. There's powerful people in the world that will check you. They really want, man, they got, first of all, we don't want anybody to have freedom to roam around. First of all, they don't like people to have freedom to roam. That's what it is. Anyway, I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. You would have to be crazy to rock with any of these leaders. They are not descendants of the people that conquered our ancestors. These are look, man, I'm telling you, I rock with the United States. I do. If I have to rock with anybody, I'm rocking with the United States. At this point in my life, if I have to rock with anybody, I'm rocking with the United States. I'm rocking with us. I don't care about the presidency. I don't care about Congress. All that dog and pony show, bro, I don't care about it. But I know this, I'm going to support America with everything that I have. Because I can't have anything if America's not in a good place. And so I'm not going to be convinced that I need to be interested in Africa. And I am interested in Africa. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying I'm from America, bro. And that's where the money should stay. That's where our effort should go. Joe Darrow said, I said that in the beginning. You don't just go to another country and snatch anybody. Venezuelan allies also knew they are just playing the role. Yeah, they got that dude out of there. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. You do not need our money in Africa. We are rich. You're 100% right. You're way richer than we are. You're way richer than we are. Africa's got way more than we got. No, what he said? He said, then you are rocking with the people that conquered our people. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. My name is Martin Blackwell. I'm from the United States of America. I'm a U.S. citizen. That's what it is, bro. That's just a fact. I am not rocking with every single solitary American that exists. I'm not rocking with every single solitary decision made by every American. I'm not. What I'm saying is, bro, after this live stream is over, I'm going to go walk and I'm going to go walk out and pay a sales tax for the next thing that I'm buying. I'm a patriotic American. Thank you very much. I'm a Black patriotic American. I love the United States. I love my country. I do. One of the regrets that I have in my life is that I didn't go to the military. Like, I think a lot of times back, like I was too much of a coward to go to the military, but I'm a patriotic Black American. I am. I don't want to go back to Africa. I don't want to move to Africa. I don't want to wear dashikis. I don't want to change I don't. I'm a proud Black American. That's just what I am. And I want to defend America. That doesn't mean that I agree with everything Donald Trump does, or I agree with what all the racist people in America do. But at the same time, come on, man, we're American. We are here. This is where we are. Cast your buckets down where you are. Don't you remember or you ever heard of the debate between W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington? Booker T. Washington said, cast down your buckets where you may. Let's get to work and growing ourselves. When I was a kid, when I was a young kid and I first heard that from Booker T. Washington, it didn't really resonate with me, right? I was more like, they were like, the W.E.B. Du Bois was like, no, we need the talented 10th. Basically, W.E.B. Du Bois was saying that we need to be ruled by the Ivy League class. And what Booker T. Washington was saying, we need to cultivate the land. We need to do this, right? But man, the older I get, the more I'm like, Booker T. Washington was right. We got to cast our buckets down where we are, because this is where we are. You can sit there and you can daydream about your relationship with Africa for 50 zillion years. They're all sellouts. East Driver, the dude was a former slave. Of course, he was bought out. Of course, they gave him everything that he had. That doesn't mean he didn't say anything that made sense. Come on, man. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say, I know W.B. Du Bois was part of the establishment. That's why he was able to say the things he was able to say. W.E.B. Du Bois, oh, you're saying Du Bois was a seller. W.E.B. Du Bois was part of the system. That's why he was allowed to say the things that he's allowed to say. And there's lots of, what are you talking about, bro? I didn't say anything bad about Africa. Fuck off, nigga. I'm not trying to talk to you, bro. Go away. I didn't say anything bad about Africa. All I said was, I'm not African. I'm an American. Is there something wrong with me saying that I'm not African, I'm American? Like, look at this stupidity. Look at this con job you're trying to pull on me. I'm an American born and raised. My mother was an American born and raised. My father was an American born and raised. But I can't say that I'm American. I'm supposed to say that I'm African. What kind of gameplay, what kind of game are you running? Said better, you better than me, Noop. I swear to God. Like, I'm serious. Why should I, who was born and raised in America, whose ancestors were born and raised in America, call myself African when I've been in Africa one time in my life? Bro, none of that is funny, bro. None of that is funny, bro. I mean, serious, bro. It's a con job. It's a psych job. You're trying to split us from what we own. You're trying to make us, it's like you want to kick us out the country without kicking us out the country. You want to tie us to Africa so that you can make trips to Africa, and then you can parlay with the Africans and make a bunch of money in the Africans. I don't know what you're talking about, bro, a lost soul, because you're here talking. Because you're sitting here talking, trying to sell that line, bro. You're just out here trying to sell that line, bro. I'm sorry, your propaganda will not work, bro. Do you ever, you know how interesting it is? You know what I find interesting? No matter what I talk about, there's always the same number of trolls. You ever notice that? All the commenting creators, bro. Why, no matter what I talk about, do I have the same number of trolls? I just wonder why that is, dog. I'm not even talking boxing. It's a boxing channel, and I'm not talking boxing. But yet, when I start talking about these issues, it seems like there's 5 times as many trolls come in to say something to me about it. It's almost like the same people want to troll me in boxing, want to troll me in politics. I wonder why you guys come to my channel to complain so much. This isn't a African diaspora conversation. This is just a one-off conversation I'm trying to have because I didn't want to talk about boxing today. But I find that really interesting that you guys always show up. You always show up right when it's time for you to disagree with me and say bad things about myself. It's very interesting. I don't know what that tells me. It just means that, I don't know, you got very versatile bots. You have bots that are willing to disagree with anything that I say, no matter how off topic it is. I'm just telling you, bro. I just find you guys really, really interesting, bro. Anyway, let me get up out of here. Much love to everybody in the chat, everybody in the super chat, and I will get back with y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all so much for support. They are always watching me, bro. Now, I'm seriously, bro. How could I have this much pushback? How could I possibly have this much pushback on a topic that I don't even usually discuss? You guys expose yourselves, man. You really expose yourselves. You don't even know how to stay silent and hold that conversation for another channel. You don't even know how to pretend that you're not just out here to disagree. Anyway, you're bots and you're ops. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.